Welcome to today's 5-minute Bible study in the Gospel of Matthew. Today we're ready to begin Matthew chapter 26. This begins the last section of the book of Matthew, chapters 26 through 28. We're midway through Holy Week. Passover's almost here. And the plot against Jesus is building. All of these things will culminate in the trial and then the crucifixion of Jesus on Friday, Good Friday, and then, of course, the glory of resurrection on Easter morning. But this section begins in the first few verses of chapter 26. Now, when Jesus had finished saying all of these things, now all of these things, of course, refers to the teaching we've been looking at for several days on the second coming. After Jesus had finished or completed giving the disciples instructions on his return, he says to them, his disciples, now, as you know, the Passover is 2 days away. Of course, that's why they've come to Jerusalem, to celebrate the Passover. The Passover is 2 days away, and the Son of Man will be handed over to be crucified. Jesus knows the plot is underway. He knows how it's going to end. And really, that's why he has come, to go to the cross. And he's telling his disciples so they will know, will understand, I will be crucified. Now the chief priest and the elders of the people assembled in the palace of the high priest, whose name was Caiaphas. They schemed to arrest Jesus secretly and to kill him. Not during the festival, they said, or there may be a riot among the people. So we've been seeing all through the gospel this growing hostility from the religious leaders, the chief priests, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the leaders that they've opposed Jesus all along, and their hostility has grown. And during Holy Week, they've been in conflict with him, and finally they've decided he must be done away with. He must be killed. And so they're coming up with their plot. Now, they want to do it secretly. Passover is a highly emotional time among the Jewish people gathered in Jerusalem. And they know many people believe Jesus is the Messiah. So they say, we've got to do it secretly. We've got to do it in a way that doesn't cause a riot or the people to start an uprising, which would cause the Romans to oppress us even more than they do now. So they're trying to come up with a plot. They're conspiring as to how they can have Jesus killed. Of course, we're going to see this play out as they eventually will get Judas, who agrees to be the betrayer. They'll come up with a plot, a plan to hand Jesus over to the Romans. They think if we can just get the Romans to kill him for us, that will end the problem he's creating amongst us. So the plot is underway. The plan is hatched. Now they've just got to execute it. Jesus, of course, knows it's coming, and he's telling his disciples about it. In the next few chapters, we'll see how Jesus, after the Passover, will be arrested. We'll see a couple of trials, one trial before Caiaphas, another trial before Pilate. We'll see Jesus crucified. And the interesting thing is, of course, the great turnaround of history. The Pharisees, the Sadducees, the chief priests, they thought if they could kill Jesus, that would end him. But what they don't realize is this is the means by which God will redeem the entire world. For Jesus will give his life to win the ultimate victory on the cross. Those who are plotting against Jesus think his death will be the end. What they don't realize is that Jesus, by his sacrificial death for us, by his giving of himself for us on the cross, he will win the victory. What they thought would be his defeat will turn into the greatest victory of all, as Jesus defeats the power of evil and establishes redemption for all mankind, all who will believe in him. So we're going to see that on Good Friday. And then, of course, we'll move to Easter and the great resurrection. As death is defeated, Jesus rises from the grave to open the way to eternal life for all of us. That's what these next couple of days are going to hold, and we'll read about them in chapters 26, 27, and 28. And it all begins with those leaders of the Jewish people, the chief priests, the teachers, plotting how to defeat Jesus, not realizing their plot is actually playing into God's plan for the ultimate victory over evil. What a glory it is to believe in Jesus, to see that he died for us and rose again for us, opening the way to eternal life. So the next few days, as we move toward the wrapping up of this study in Matthew, we're going to see all of that unfold and what glory it is. You have a great day today, and I'll see you next time for our 5-minute Bible study in the Gospel of Matthew.